Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with our power rankings for Week 2 of Stage 2 of the 2019 Overwatch League season. So let's move on to 11 through 9. Who did you have there?
Okay, at 11, I have Chengdu. 10, I have Boston. And 9, I have Dallas, who also didn't play. But I just kept him in the same spot I had him last week.
Right. So I had, for me, at 11, I had Dallas. At 10, I had Toronto. And 9, I have Philly.
Okay.
So this is where we really differ.
Yeah, this chunk of teams here.
So with Dallas, obviously they didn't play this week, so they kind of stayed in the same spot for me. Obviously, they're not going to climb that much because I think there were teams that impressed me a lot. Toronto fell for me a decent amount. Same with Philly because they lost games that I felt that they should have won.
Yeah, they should have.
Or at least been more competitive.
Toronto should have beat Boston for sure.
Yeah.
They should have finished that off.
I think Philly should have played better against New York than they did. Like, they got mashed by New York. I mean, it is New York in the regular season because they are the freaking Colts.
Yeah. They are the Indianapolis Excelsior.
Yeah. But
it actually has a nice ring.
It kind of does. But yeah, like they didn't impress me enough this week. I really feel like they should have played better against Florida as well. Like, they beat them, but it wasn't a convincing enough win for me.
I think Florida is one of those, you know how every good team has a bad team that gives them fits?
Yeah.
Kind of like Shanghai would drive New York crazy last year.
Yeah.
I think Florida's that to Philly. And luckily they don't have to play him again, and I doubt they'll meet him again.
Right. True.
But yeah, they didn't look great. I didn't think they looked too terrible though. Except for at New York, there were some times I was just like, whoa, they look really bad. I guess for me, it's more of the more the DPS kind of comes out, the better they're going to get back into the flow of things.
Right.
It's going to take.
I don't know. I think with them, they will get better. But I feel like it's also, for me, the other teams that I put ahead of them just played so well that I felt compelled to put those teams ahead of them just because they deserve it, because those teams played really well.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I'm down with that. I pulled Boston up a couple of spots. Chengdu, I pulled up 4 spots. I put them there because
I put Chengdu up really high. Same with Boston.
A lot of people have. It's not that I'm reserving judgment. I got the goddamn Ameng skin for Wrecking Ball. Okay.
Yes.
I'm in. Watching them this week was fun because it was actually teams were countering them. They were still kind of smashing them. Right. So it was kind of fun to watch. And one of the guys, I was like Bacon Jack, man. He fucking, that one, who was that? I guess we're moving into Chengdu talk now.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I think.
Was that, it was Kings Row.
Battle,
it was with Washington. That was the only reason why I didn't put him higher, is Washington gave them kind of a battle.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But Washington full held them on Kings Row. I was like, oh shit, they're going to lose this map. And it looked like they were going to, and Bacon Jack just did a profit fucking tracer clutch.
The one that I think of kind of made me hesitant to put Chengdu as high as I did was the battle on Anubis between Corey and Bacon Jack. Like, Corey had his number in that map. Oh, yeah. Man.
I think Corey's
Washington their defense was just unbelievable on that map.
Yeah.
And then,
I think Corey's
Chengdu
better
turned around and did the same thing on Kings Row, so, you know. Yeah.
I think Corey's better than we gave him credit for.
I agree.
But,
sure.
Chengdu has a lot of promise. I mean, and they're, like I said, they're everybody's favorite team. They're fun to watch. But the thing is they do the wacky shit and they make it work. It's not like they're doing wacky shit to do wacky shit. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
When they're running McCree, Mercy, Farah, and Wrecking Ball on University, they've practiced that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the fucked up thing. It's not just like, I feel like playing McCree.
Right.
Yeah. But they look good. Ameng, I mean, obviously, I've been watching him a lot because I've been wanting to play Wrecking Ball, mostly because I was watching him play and going, oh, this is a viable character. You know what I mean? It's not like running around playing Torb, which is also fun, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But watching him play that level of Wrecking Ball is fantastic. And, you know, that's not to take anything away from his other characters. I think one of his weakest ones is Orisa, though. I don't think he's as great on Orisa.
Yeah, his Orisa is probably his weakest tank.
Which is bad in this meta because the bunker comp is pretty prevalent.
It is. But they did make it work because they held them pretty well on King's Row. Yeah. And that's where you really saw a lot of it. But that's really where Bacon Jack shined. He was unfreaking real on Widow. And Jinmu as well on Pharah was fantastic. And
then Bacon Jack switched over to Tracer, like I was saying, and he got a 5K.
Right.
I was just like, do we need another great Tracer player? Do we really need to have this? Apparently, yeah. I was like, I'm watching it going, 1 kill, 2, oh, he's gonna full clip fucking arc. Here we go. I'm like, this is a Tracer fucking takeover right now. Oh.
Ridiculous.
You know, as much as I complain about that sometimes, it is fun to watch someone just go nuts with Tracer.
Yeah.
Go through 3 clips or 4 clips and get like 5K. You're like, okay.
Actually, somebody who else really surprised me was Elsa. He played really well, especially his Torb.
Yeah, his Symmetra was pretty fucking scary too.
Right.
On Hanamura. That's hard. Yeah. It's hard to get that kind of coordination. I mean, obviously you're practicing that. That stupid teleporter, getting that all set up. And if you notice, like, in our level, and maybe it's a little different, like, you know, where you're at, if someone's playing Symmetra, they're right-clicking the shit out of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Here, they're like, what? If I put this beam on them, I'm going to have 120 DPS in how long? Oh, yeah, I'm using left click.
Exactly.
Just fucking melting people.
Yeah. I think that's huge.
They're fun and they're good, which is good to see.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed watching them this week.
Yeah.
I think that I do think that they're up there. That's why I personally put them at 5.
Yeah, I had them at 11 because I'm sold, but I'm not. I'm frightened that I'm sold. I guess maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. It makes no sense. I'm being a dick.
The other teams would be like Boston. We don't really need to talk too much about because we hit on them a lot during the Sunday night back cap.
Toronto?
Yeah, let's talk some Toronto.
Okay. They didn't look great, but...
Yeah, I dropped them down a decent amount. I was
a little disappointed in the Boston game.
Yeah, I was very disappointed in that game.
The only thing I'll say is they're trying to work in IM37, who's going to be phenomenal, I think. But, you know, he was okay at times. I mean, he was great at times, and he was most of the other times he was just kind of okay. They made a big deal about it. They were playing Washington in his first game, and they looked okay against Washington. They didn't necessarily look great against Washington either.
Yeah, I mean, they beat Washington, but there was points where you're just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're forcing Envy on Sombra a little too much.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they don't need running.
They don't need to do that because Envy, you're better. I feel like they're better off just keeping Envy on D.Va because he's just going to make better plays that way. Yeah,
I totally agree. And it's not that his Sombra's horrible. It's one of those things with the Sombra goats. I like it to an extent, and then there are times I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of, like, Sombra play, and I think it works as a really good counter to, like, regular goats. But with Winston and goats, which most of the teams have been running, I don't feel it's as impactful as when you have the Rhine Goats going. That's my personal opinion.
Well, because like a Winston shield doesn't mean nearly as much as a Reinhardt shield.
Yeah.
And there's just more stationary people that you can kind of take advantage of when you're Sombra. When it's Winston Goats, or when it's
especially when you EMP.
Whereas against Winston, like there's even with the EMP, like there's enough counter to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have nearly the same impact.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. And there was just some play where and they also have a different strategic coach too, so maybe some things were different. They're just working those out as well.
Right.
They just didn't look as good as they did in stage 1. They didn't look terrible, but I still think they could beat teams. And this week is a big test for them. They have Philadelphia and Dallas, which for some reason, and this is going to be a side rant, why is Philadelphia Toronto at the 12-15 game when you have
doesn't make any sense?
I think Vancouver's playing the match before them. I mean, you're literally none of the fan bases are going to be up,
right?
More or less. Like I have to work at 9:00 in the morning on Friday. No way I'm watching that. I think there was another match. I was like, what? Yeah, Vancouver Seoul is on at 10:30. And then
I mean, that one I can I can be okay with that because in Vancouver that's like 7:30. So
yeah, I mean you could flip those two games and it'd be all right.
Right.
10:30 I can do.
But yeah, for Toronto and Philly to be playing at that time that's a questionable decision there. Yeah. I think maybe it's just because of the other teams that are playing that day.
Yeah, except for the.
I mean, yeah, the Vancouver Seoul one should probably be the last game of that day for sure.
But I get it when like if Philadelphia's playing like Chengdu, all right, that's the 12-15 game.
Right, but you got two teams on
East Coast based.
Yeah, like in the Eastern time zone. Like, why are they playing at 12:00 at night?
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving up the ladder here. So where are we at?
So we have 8 through 6.
8 through 6? Okay, I had Toronto at 8, Philly at 7, London at 6.
So at 8, I had London. At 7, I have Seoul. 6, I have Boston.
We've talked. Well, let's talk some London.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about them earlier.
Yeah. That was kind of a side rant on. Not really a rant, a side discussion on how awesome their dive is. Yeah,
but we're not wrong. Like their dive is. I mean, they're the best dive team in the league.
Yeah.
Still.
Maybe New York. When they ran just that Genji Tracer dive when you had Libero on Tracer, or Libero on Genji to save Yobi on Tracer.
Yeah, I mean...
It was close. Yes, those were good fights. But London beat them once.
I do think London has a slight edge just because they can be a little more versatile with theirs.
Yeah.
So, because they can run some other DPS alongside that.
Case in point was the Stage 1 finals where Prophet was running Junkrat.
Right, exactly. And Prophet, having a player like Prophet be able to do those kinds of things is huge for this
Doesn't
team.
Hurt. Let's just say that. But the whole of their team looked better. It was like they looked comfortable when they were playing dive. Well, obviously, but they kind of had a little bit more confidence, too, like from their play. Mm-hmm. I mean, Florida shouldn't have taken a map from them, but Florida seems to take a map from everybody and tie them on something.
Right.
For as terrible as they are.
Yeah. There's always that one point in time where you're just like, oh, Florida actually looks pretty good, and then they turn back into themselves.
Stop playing with your food.
Exactly.
I think that's what's biggest things I think that happened too is them running Winston Goats too. Is gesture on Winston. We talked about it a little bit earlier. That's just a game changer for them.
It really is. Like, because him playing Winston just opens it up for fury to make bigger impact plays.
Yeah.
And just like it just makes the whole team 10 times better because the other team has to focus so much of their attention on Gesture playing Winston that the other factors just work so much better.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they did play Florida and Atlanta, who's kind of like wonky right now.
Yeah.
But
still.
They took
this
care of business.
This looked like London of old.
Yeah. It felt better than it did like when they won a couple of games the last stage, and you're like, I don't know how they won that, but they did.
Right.
But yeah, they look more like London, and I think other teams need to watch out because if this keeps progressing towards that I don't think it's going to be like any singular meta, which is what we've all wanted, really. But if you get them into their comfort zones, this map will, as we said like a million times, it helps. If you get them in their comfort zone, I would not be surprised at them jumping up more.
Oh, absolutely. I think this team could make a very big run if they get to keep playing this meta or keep playing dive. Even if it just becomes Winston goats, I think that makes them 10 times better. That's how much of a difference Gesture playing Winston makes. Well,
I mean, we've seen. I think Reinhardt play is down 35 or 40%.
Yeah.
So that alone, it's got to help Gesture. And his wrecking ball's not terrible either.
Yeah, his wrecking ball's pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, there are only a couple guys in the league. You're like, yeah. And one of them's Hydration.
Yeah.
Hydration's wrecking ball's sick. But hitting like Ameng. I've been practicing, so, I've been watching. But yeah, I enjoy the fact that they're back. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those things. I know you hate my baseball team.
Yeah.
But the league is more compelling when the Yankees are good.
I'll give you that.
In that the haters are going to hate, and guys like me are going to be like, yeah, the Yankees are back. And you're like, oh, fuck. It's like Dallas in football as much as I like to say it.
Yeah. Well, your whole division looks like a dumpster fire right now, except for the Rays.
Oh, yeah. And once again, my team gets they're going to win the division. And I'd look at it going, you people are on drugs. They still don't have any pitching.
Yeah, you guys don't have any. I mean, you guys have a really good bullpen and a ridiculous offense, but
the bullpen doesn't matter if you're down 17-3.
Well, at least you're not in Boston's position.
Oh, well.
You have better pitching than them.
Yeah, well, I'm never going to complain about that. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Red Sox can burn for all I care. Yeah.
Who do you want to talk next? Is there anybody else in this bracket you want to talk? Maybe some Seoul?
We can talk a little Seoul.
You have Seoul up a little bit higher. They're in the next bracket, so we can kind of work them into the next one. We'll work up there, and
then we can just talk top four. We'll go the final four.
Yeah. So because I had Chengdu at 5.
We talked about Chengdu.
You had Seoul at 5.
Yeah. I should have Seoul lower. I should have Seoul lower. Wow, that's hard to say.
Yeah. Right.
There's something about Seoul though. I know they didn't look fantastic, but there's something about them. I don't know what it is. I think they got some swag back last stage. And I think with the more and more we get the DPS worked in, and the more they work with Fissure, they're going to maintain up there, and they can give the teams above them a run, and I think they can beat everyone, maybe London aside. I think they can beat every team below them. And could they lose to all of them? Probably.
Right. But I do think that something has clicked for this team, and it all came. I think one of the biggest factors in it has been Michelle.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and I don't think
as much as Fissure has helped them, I think Michelle has made a bigger impact on this team overall.
I think so too, and it's not that Zumba's terrible.
No, but Michelle is just that good.
Yeah. I apologize to everybody. That weird rumbling noise is my dog snoring. It's literally getting picked up on the mic.
I will say that Fitz worked really well for them this week.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. It was weird to not see Fleta playing.
Yeah, that was a little weird, but he looked good, Fitz.
Yeah, Fitz looked really good.
It's, I think there's going to be a lot in fantasy is going to be harder and harder with the DPS, just the amount of, because I think you're going to have map dependent metas, which means you're going to have guys that are playing their best. Like Fleta should be in all the time, but if Fitz is good on a couple of characters, if they're playing on a certain map,
right,
why not put him in? Especially if he has chemistry with the team and they work together well. Right. Not like last year when they were just flinging guys in left and right.
Right, just throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks type of thing, and nothing stuck was the problem.
Yeah, the Bunchkin factor.
They were just throwing like the dry turds that just have nothing left at them. Yeah,
they. I think they have a lot of promise. I don't think they see the thing is they beat New York and they beat London, but I think London's upticking the more and more we go along. I like him. I like him anywhere from 5 to 8. How's that?
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's their. Do I have him up a little high? Probably. I probably could have had Philly, or not Philly. I probably should have had London ahead of them, but I just stuck them there because I think they look good to me.
The one thing that's going to be rough for Seoul this stage is they have to play Vancouver twice.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
Yeah.
I don't care how good you are, that team is better.
We'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, I do think Seoul is a much improved team, and I feel like they're right up there.
Yeah. I think they're on the edge. They're closer than they were last year when everybody thought they were going to beat everybody.
Right.
I think they're a better team.
Yeah.
All around.
All right, so let's jump to our top 4, which coincidentally is exactly the same for both of us.
Yeah.
So we had at 4 the Gladiators, 3 we had the New York Excelsior, number 2 we had San Francisco Shock, and the number 1 team still Vancouver Titans.
Yeah. Do we really need to talk about Vancouver anymore?
Not really. I mean, we got to see them. We did talk about them on the Sunday show, but just again, like, holy freaking crap! Getting to see some of those guys play DPS, like this team they switched up and played completely different comps, like it was nothing, and like they can turn it off and turn it on at will.
Yeah, because they've been playing. The thing is, too, they've been playing together as long as most, if not more of the teams in the Overwatch League right now. And I mean, they've had guys come in and out, and someone needs to card Stitch.
Yeah, right.
Fucking Dobby. he's like a pocket-sized human. He's like 9. I swear to God, I looked at him, I'm like, he was standing next to Bumper. I'm like, he looks like Dobby standing next to fucking Harry Potter, man. And anyway, they're just insane.
They're ridiculous.
The coordination, and it's like Bumper can just go be ham aggro crazy fuck, and it's all right. Or we want to play DPS. Let's just really knock the shit out of them so we have a big time bank and we can fuck around for a little bit. That being said, his Pharah wasn't terrible.
No.
But yeah, Vancouver's Vancouver at this point, and Bumper is just becoming the cocky, like he's like the heel wrestler. Seriously, like
he
watching,
really is.
And it's awesome. Like they ask him about other teams, and he just starts laughing. He's like, "What? Fuck that, man!"
Right?
He's just always. I like it because he's laughing all the time. It's like he's laughing at everybody. He's like, "What the fuck? You think they're gonna beat us? Come on, man!"
Right. Oh God, this team is ridiculous, and like
we were told to stretch the broadcast out a little bit here.
And the most ridiculous thing for this team is you see that, and then you think, okay, who can beat this team?
I think I can think of one.
That's the scariest thing. Is like there's like one team that might be able to beat them.
Oh, those little fuckers from the Bay.
Right.
Number 2 team. I seriously, they looked insanely good this weekend.
They really did. Yeah, let's talk about them. Like we talked a bit about them on Sunday as well, but like we just can't get over how freaking good that team is. Yeah,
they're like I said on Sunday, mission. They had some chemistry going, and I think Violet. I love Sleepy, but wow, they put Violet in there, and they just turned into like a machine.
Violet elevated them from a very good team to an elite team.
Yeah.
100%.
Like almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
Instantaneously. And you still got guys on the bench like Striker.
Right.
And
that's
Architect.
The most insane part. Like, you just look at the depth that this team has, and it's just like, what do you even do?
Yeah, I know. And there are guys on that team like Choi Hyobin we talked about who, we were like, I don't know about this guy, but, honestly, he's the weakest part of their team probably, and it's not that weak. That's the thing. You're like...
That's the terrifying part. And, honestly, one of the most underrated players for this team has been Rascal.
Rascal.
Literally
Fucking
no one is
Baptiste
talking about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And including us.
Oh, yeah. We have not really talked about him at all, but his Baptiste was insane. Like, to pick up a hero that quickly and play at the level that he already is ridiculous.
Yeah. And his Breg was really good, too, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And this is a guy that came from playing DPS when he was for the 2 other teams that he played for. He was always a DPS player.
Yeah, London and Dallas.
So it's really awesome to see him have the turnaround in his career that he's had. I'm super happy for him.
So am I, and he's he's like a big part of their team. And if you notice, they're not switching in those guys; like they're keeping him in there.
Right,
like you would
think that with some of the other talent you have on that team, that you would see Striker, you would see
Architect,
and it's just not happening because Rascal's playing that well.
I mean, they have, to be brutally honest, the bottom 4 teams in the league. I say brutally honest way too much. I've noticed I edit the sound, so
I mean that's our whole thing with the show is we're brutally honest.
I shouldn't even have to say it.
Right.
Their B team could pretty much beat teams 15 through 20 handily, 4-0.
Right. That's the scary part.
Because their B team is your DPS would be Striker and Architect, Sleepy. Your off tank is Nevix, who's really good. He's just behind Choi Hyobin. They have a backup?
I don't think they do. That might be like the one spot that they don't have a true backup for.
Okay, now I gotta look at that. I'm sorry, guys. This is a point that I have to make. They could at least so they could play 4v6 and still beat at least 3 of the teams at the bottom.
Because you got Smurf, you've got
Smurf, you'd have a main tank, yeah. Nevix.
Architect, Striker, Sleepy, and then you'd probably just keep Moth.
Yeah.
Like, that's a team that would be right in the middle of the pack, probably upper middle of the pack.
Yeah, and their DPS line would kill everybody.
Oh, for sure.
That's the insanity about this team. Their B team, it's almost like it's comparable to last year when London came in with the 2 rosters that they had.
Right.
But it's almost better than that. It's on par.
It's on par, I would say, at the very least.
Yeah. I would take Nevix over Wooyal and a couple of the other guys, Mm-hmm. I mean, now we're splitting hairs and doing weird shit, but still, this team, I think, is the only team at this moment. New York could beat them in the regular season. They will not beat them in the playoffs, Vancouver, because that's just New York.
Yeah.
They'd never get the chance to play them because they always lose in the first round.
Right.
The Indianapolis Excelsior, which they look really good, but to my point with San Francisco, their B team is great. It could kill anybody. Yeah, and their A team is great, and they're the only team I think they can give Vancouver a run because they smelt the blood in the water First off, it's going to go to Rocky IV here when they're fighting Drago. And the fucking dude's in the corner, and after Rocky clocked him a couple, he's like, "He's a man. He's not a machine. He's a man." San Francisco felt that. They felt that in that championship game.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I said, New York's going to play them once this year. They're never going to get to them. But they might play them in the regular playoffs. If they get there, they'll lose to a team like Houston.
They'll get into the regular playoffs.
I didn't call Houston in the playoffs. I said they would lose to a team like Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Shh. Calm down. I'm not being nice. I'm making... Don't misinterpret that, please.
Right. Oh, God.
But New York will go in there and lose to a team. All right, I'll use a less hypothetical. They lose to a team like Boston or Toronto in that situation. But I think San Francisco right now is the only team that can beat them.
Yeah.
We could talk a little New York.
I mean, they still looked really damn good this week. Like, they look like they're trying to make up for their loss.
Yeah.
But until at this point, okay, we've seen what you can do in the regular season.
Yeah, exactly.
All that, okay, you've done that, but now you have to prove it in the playoffs again because you haven't done that since stage 2 of last season. Or stage. Yes,
they won 2 stages. They won 2 and 3.
Since stage 3 of last season, and ever since then they just have looked lackadaisical when the games really matter. Yeah,
I don't know if they're not. I don't know. See, the thing is, it's like people are like, yeah, it's stage playoffs. I don't know. I'm competitive, and if someone puts a big bag of money on the table in front of me and says, "You beat 2 teams, that's yours,"
right?
Or 3 teams, or however it's going to work. But you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah. Give me that.
Yeah, right?
I have more of the Vancouver attitude with that. Like, okay, I'm going to smash everything my way to get to that bag of money.
Exactly.
And it's like they don't give a shit. It's when they're in that situation, it feels like it when they're playing. Mm-hmm. And then they start panicking like, oh, crap, this is a game. Right. But
yeah, when they don't get to play their game is when they fall apart.
Yeah.
And they can mostly control what other teams do against them in the regular season, but when you get a team that is game planning especially for you, they know how to exploit you, they just don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, because they don't change on their own; they change reactively. So that's a lot easier to game plan for than even a team like San Francisco in this meta, or Vancouver in this meta. New York, you know what they're going to do. They're going to run Rhine 3-3, play defensively, build ult charge, or they're going to
try and give as much space to Jonak as possible. That is the whole thing. No matter what meta they're doing, they are trying to put Jonak in a place where he can go off.
Yeah, which works.
Oh, yeah.
But when teams...
There's a reason he was the MVP.
Yeah. And teams run Sombra against them, or, like Philly did, fucking just harassed the absolute crap out of him in the playoffs. They beat him. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, they still look good. They're still number 3. I know we're railing on New York right now, kind of. They're still going to be everybody else they play.
Absolutely.
It's just they're not on Vancouver's level of... They're not on Vancouver's level of aggression and adaptability. Because Vancouver's like, oh, you want to play that way? Sure, we're in. Mm-hmm. And New York doesn't know how to deal with that. That's the one thing about them that I don't like, that I actually admired for a change that for last year. All right, they play their style and they dictate their will. But the problem is they don't know what to do when they can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's where they get into trouble.
Exactly.
Have they played Chengdu yet? I don't think they have.
I don't think they have either.
I want to see that.
Play Chengdu. Yes.
Because I think Chengdu would beat them because of the adaptability thing.
I'm looking through their schedule, and they literally don't have a tough matchup.
This
they play
stage
Atlanta twice. They play Washington and Florida, The hardest team they're going to play is Philly.
And they buried them.
Like, they play Washington and Florida next week. They play Philly the week after, Atlanta.
Their next hardest game is June 9th against London. Yeah.
Jesus.
Stage 3. That's week 1, stage 3.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, see, the problem is when you look at it, and they play London twice in 3 weeks.
They do.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for the Chengdu match. They don't have a tough schedule at all.
They really don't.
God, they play Florida like 6 times. At least
there it is. August 4th is when they play Chengdu.
So, is it the same week that they play fucking Vancouver?
They play Paris that week, and then I think they play Vancouver the next week, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, things could totally change by then. I mean, we're getting off on a tangent here, but...
Oh, they don't play Vancouver until...
The last
week of the season.
Yeah. And it's in that Los Angeles rivalry.
Yeah, but LA's home game.
Boy, that's going to be fun. They should be what?
Right? Oh, God.
0-24 by then? 25?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oof.
Yeah. And they played the Gladiators and the Shock.
God. That's going to be a disaster.
He's already dead.
Right?
Well, they're doing that this week.
Stop. He's already dead.
Oh,
Lord.
Well, yeah. Well, at this point, and that's the only thing with the 28 games. All right, guys. So before we go, let's go over. We're going to just hit you with a couple of the matches that we're going to be watching for this week. So obviously, the best matches are going to be tomorrow night, or tonight, actually, for you guys on Thursday. We have Seoul Vancouver, which should be competitive.
Yes.
They did play each other in the playoffs. You know, we'll see what happens. Seoul kind of gave them a run for a minute, and Vancouver took over. And then we kind of discussed the time of this match, but Toronto-Philly's a big match.
Yeah.
It's big for Philly, and I think it's bigger for Toronto to prove, hey, we can beat a team that's, you know, above that mid-table area.
I think it's very key for both of these teams.
Yeah. And
then the next one on Saturday is going to be, because there's really nothing going on Friday that's like grabbing my eye. But Saturday is going to be London Philly rematch of the championship from last year. Again, this is a big match for both of these teams, and I think it's going to be kind of a good measuring stick for where both of these teams are at.
Yeah, and then we also have on Saturday, we have Dallas-Toronto, another big match for both teams. Dallas is back from their week off. They're playing the whole weekend, so they had a pretty extended break for them. That's good. Getting Note worked in there. We're going to see Note with Dallas for the first time. Once again, we'll see where Toronto's at, and this is a big game for Dallas too to, you know, show that they're, you know, they belong up in the top as well. On Sunday, there's really nothing. Wow, they make the matches on Sunday absolutely dreadful.
They really did.
Dallas and Paris could be...
Well, maybe they just knew that that's the premiere of Game of Thrones, so let's just throw out the weakest lineup we can, because no one's going to be paying attention to anything else.
Oh, what? You're not going to watch the Battle of L.A.?
Oh, I'll watch that, for sure. But, I mean, I will. Oh, wait, no, I'm not anymore. It's usually compelling, but... now it's just going to be a straight-up mash.
It's going to be... I'll have it on until about 8:58.
Right.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, the match will have been determined 10 minutes before that anyway.
This is true. Sorry, Valiant fans.
Your team is shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But it's true.
But all the shit teams play on Sunday. Is it just a thing? It seems like Washington, Florida, and the Valiant play on Sunday all the time.
Really, maybe Dallas, Paris would be a good one.
Yeah, that could be compelling. Good enough to watch. I think Dallas will or beat them pretty well. Who knows, though? Paris is the Houston of this year, so this could be the one where... And just a programming note before we wrap this up. Don't forget, we are moving it back because we are Game of Thrones nerds to 11 p.m. The Sunday back cap. We need time to digest. It's the first episode, and we're going to do it for the the remainder of obviously
of the season.
Of
the Game of Thrones season.
And it's understandable. I'm sure you guys are going to be watching it too. And if you're not, you're insane. And how are you a nerd? You're on a video game. You're on a video game podcast, and you will not watch. And you're not watching Game of Thrones.
What kind of nerd are you?
You're just a competitive video game nerd. That happens. Understandable. All right. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. That was our power rankings. Don't forget to join us on Sunday. We are going to have our picks. I'll rapid fire those out for you tomorrow or today. Later on today, you'll get them probably before the matches. Well, definitely before the matches. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Please rate us if you're listening to us on iTunes or any of the podcatcher kind of things. Also, hit us up if you'd like to support us on Patreon. There's a link down below in the description. We have different tier of stuff. Unfortunately, I have stuff to do tomorrow, or I would have treated you guys to me watching Paris play the Mayhem. I will do that. That's going to go, things like that are going to go up there. I'm starting to do I'm trying to learn how to do VOD reviews. So I want to review them, and I need people to review my reviewing, if that makes any sense. See if I see, the same thing you guys do. I want to learn how to do this a little bit better. Anyway, and we're going to do some other stuff there. There's going to be some outtakes because we've been recording stuff, and who knows what else is going to show up. Maybe us playing quick play videos.
Yeah.
If you want to see some really crazy shit. 1 o'clock in the morning, half drunk and other things. Anyway.
Yeah.
You guys have a good afternoon, evening, and enjoy the matches, and we will see you Sunday night for the back cap.
Catch you guys in the next one. Later.